I'm going to be covering What Did We Learn NFL Trade Edition. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure that we're tuned in and we're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Every single time live stream, you can definitely tap in, ask your questions in the comments section, join the live stream, donate to the stream. You can do a number of things. But I want to make sure you're tapped in, hit that subscription bell as well. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The 2025 NFL trade deadline. We have winners, we have losers, and we have what we learned moving forward. When you're looking directly at the winners, some could say that not only did they get out from out the contract, some could say that not only did they hit the button, the Jets. The Jets are looked at as a winner as of right now because of what they were able to command back. This is the multiple first-round picks. This is what they were able to get, and also this is what they were able to unload. When you're thinking about both the salaries of a Williams and also Sauce Gardner, massive salaries, and you got to think that they put these salaries on these guys. This is their contracts that they got after they proved their rookie deals. So you got to think about this. The defense for the Jets was once thought of as their cornerstone. But quickly, as Justin Fields isn't panning out and Rodgers didn't pan out last year, it's a number of things that just haven't hit that they've thrown up against the wall. And now you got to seriously ask yourself, all this money we've invested into defensive players, maybe we need to put some of that money into offensive guards or tackles or linemen or running backs or wide receivers to get this thing back up and running. It seems faster to develop a defense than you can an offense. When you're looking at just the position players, Sauce Gardner started to get beat a little bit this year. There started to be a little bit of contact of context of, he wasn't happy losing and things like this. And Quentin Williams, the same thing. From the standpoint, his pass rush rate dropped as far as what he was able to do as far as getting home. Yes, he was getting double teams, but so was some of the great players in the NFL. They deal with it. And they still make plays. They still go through and get tackles. When you're looking at overall the Jets, they did make big plays as far as blockbuster trades. But most importantly, they set themselves up for the next 2 or 3 years to control the NFL draft. With so many second-round picks, third-round picks, and round picks, you can kind of restore your team how it was supposed to be. And when you're looking at the Detroit Lions as one of the teams that we've seen recently do this, where you use the draft and free agency to kind of reset your history of your timeline at that point. When you get Laporta, when you get Jahmyr Gibbs, when you get Blanche, when you get a lot of these guys that come into their own and they're starters or they're heavy contributors, now all of a sudden the Jets are looking at something different. When you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, some would say they're losers, some would say they're winners. I have to say that they're losers. They didn't really, you had Micah Parsons already, you let him go in the trade, you got picks back, you ended up getting Quentin Williams, but at the same time, you're still at the same place. So adding Williams, it's going to help you stop the run sometimes, but not as much as you think. I think the Dallas Cowboys are still going to have issues on defense. The cornerbacks are still, and if you saw Bland on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, when essentially Marvin Harrison Jr. did his little cha-cha, Bland was on the ground. Like, you're paying all this money to somebody that's on his ass. Like, it's just tough. It's tough, And the Dallas Cowboys have a lot more pieces that they have to put to the puzzle. Yes, they made a trade with the Bengals to get a linebacker, but let's just be clear. Their linebacker isn't making a difference on the Bengals. So you're trading for him. Now he's going to come and make a difference on the Cowboys? I don't think so. From the standpoint, I do not think so. Also, one of my other losers, and it's not a team, of the Las Vegas Raiders so bad, and you think about this, he was very boisterous about it, he was very vocal about it, and now look at you, you're in Jacksonville. It's not an upgrade. When you think of the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, and you think of Brian there, you think of Eaton there, you think of Trevor Lawrence there, you think of Travis Hunter there, that's not an upgrade on offense. That's not an offense you go to and like, oh, okay, I'm looking my chops to play with this quarterback and this group of guys. So he went from a bad situation to a worse situation. At least Geno Smith's going to get you the ball. At least, even with all the interceptions, Geno Smith is going to force feed you the football. And you see with them having all those weapons that they're starting to build with the Raiders, you could have still got paid. But it's highly unlikely that he's going to be productive in Jacksonville to the point where he gets another big contract. So that's one of the things. Now, the straightforward winners on this one, I think the New Orleans Saints, they got rid of a lot of salary that they wanted to get rid of. Now they have more of a direction of where they want to go. Even though they add anything to the team, they got picks. They got draft picks. And that draft picks goes to helping them rebuild this thing. It's going to take a couple of years for them to rebuild this. Kellen Moore has a lot of work ahead of himself. You don't have a starting quarterback on that roster that you want to move forward with. Again, you think Spencer Rattler is your guy? No, thank you. You think who you drafted is your guy? No, thank you. I think that they have to go back to the drawing board and look at this draft and say, is there seriously a quarterback or somebody that can hold the place for the next 2 years or so till we develop somebody? That's going to be big for the Saints because clearing up cap space, a lot of veterans that are coming off this year's end of season, so they'll have a lot more money to use and be able to spend and be a little bit further out of salary cap hell than they've been the last couple of years. One of the winners also at the deadline of the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens shook up a little thing. They got a couple of edge rushers. They got a couple of people that are going to help the defense. That's what you're looking for with Baltimore. Baltimore essentially did what they needed to do. Draymond Jones from the Titans on Monday. You're getting somebody that's going to be one of those edge rushers that actually provide pop, that can actually help with the run defense. He's going to help you corral those running backs and help you get that pass rush to the quarterback. That's huge for them. They need defensive upgrades. You know that you have Kyle Hamilton and company on the back end. They just need help on the front lines to corral everything. Also, I was expecting New England Patriots to do something. With the New England Patriots having such a hot start, they can add a wide receiver. They can add a tight end, or they can add pieces to the puzzle, even though there's Bills. Even though you beat the Bills already this season, you have to do this consistently. You can't just do it once every 2 or 3 years. You have to be able to beat the Bills no matter if it's at home or if it's in Buffalo. You have to be able to run the football, play aggressive football with them, and that means you have to unload on them. That means that you have to make sure that the guys that you're drafting are hitting on those picks. The guys that you're developing, they're hitting on those picks. So Coach Vrabel is going to have to make sure the guys he's bringing in there are ready to work. They're blue collar, fundamentally sound, and that they're ready to not only move the pile but in the middle. When you look at the strengths and weaknesses of the Patriots, it starts on that offensive line. It starts on the defensive line. You could have used one more offensive lineman to make that nasty offensive line even more nastier, or defensive line as well. So I think overall, this is some of the winners and losers of this NFL draft season. But overall, it's going to be a great rest of the season. When you're looking at the down trot of the rest of the season, it's got a lot of football for a lot of teams. A lot of teams have time to make roster moves and roster changes. And even though the deadline is passed, you can still sign free agents. There's a number of things that are brewing on the horizon. And I think that this second half of the NFL season, I'm looking forward to see some of these playoff races tightening up. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these standing columns separate themselves, because at this point in time, I like what I'm seeing from a lot of these teams. I like what I'm seeing from the Patriots as they're showing they're better. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Ravens, them bouncing back. I like what I see from the Colts, them starting the season as hot as they are. They're cooling off a little bit, but you still expect them to bounce back. The Denver Broncos are a pleasant surprise. Green Bay, even though they had a slip up, I like to see what they're doing so far. Tampa is leading the way and leading by example. The Carolina Panthers are starting to turn stuff around. It's a number of stories on the horizon that you could definitely cover and see what's going on here. Me with the way that they've been playing lately, that Rams, 49ers, Seahawks division. The Cardinals are excluded, but those 3 teams in that division are really going to give each other hell. They're really going to go up against each other, give each other problems, but they'll be battle tested. Whoever comes out of that NFC West will be battle tested. They will have a couple of losses, but you know that the product that you've seen on the field has been a very physical one. It's been a very highly scripted, where they're changing the game plan every week. They're tearing down the interior, building it right back up. They're making sure that everything's fresh. And when you think about this, Seattle adding a wide receiver, San Francisco staying packed and not doing anything, and the Rams essentially not doing anything lets me know, okay, they feel like they have a chance to, with this group, go to the Super Bowl, go to the playoffs. So we're going to keep an eye on the rest of the season. We're going to keep an eye on this, but some of the trade winners and trade losers of what I saw, that's what I gave them to you guys. I want to know what you feel in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus. And we got more content coming up, and we will see you.